you, Danielle. It's good to be with you all here today. It's a sad occasion, and this Russell Buffalo would be the 89th person executed in our state since 1989. That's a horrible number to think about. Missouri has been, sadly, a serial killer, and we should be getting out of the business. I think folks have expressed very clearly the torturous execution that would happen should Mr. Buffalo be killed, and we should not allow that to occur. Hopefully, Governor Parson will indeed intervene and recognize that this is not a way a civilized society should be. It's really important. I mean, we need to also remember, of course, Michael Sanders was killed. There's no doubt about that. It was a horrible crime. His son watched the death. And then there was also a sexual assault. Mr. Buffalo committed some horrible crimes, no doubt. But we need to get out of this business of defining a human being by an action, a horrible action in their lives. We have no right to do that. Missouri, I guess we should think, should not be considered the horrible, totally horrible state because we've executed 89 people. Should we all be in that collection and despised as a people because of the actions of our state? We need to get out of this business of killing to try to show that killing is wrong. This is we have a fairly small group here, but a group that's very strong and compassionate. You know, one thing that we forget all about in the death penalty is we know that, I think in terms of the 89 people who have been executed, all these individuals had loved ones, mothers, fathers, children, others who are traumatized by the fact that their individuals are one day sentenced to death, premeditation in the courtroom, and one day realizing ultimately their loved one will be killed. I did see one man executed, James Chambers, back in 2000. It was a despicable action, you know, to see a human being who was living earlier in the day and suddenly have no life. This is not the way that a state should be. We should be a civilized society, a society that looks out for one another. We should be focusing on trying to promote healing in our society. Take care of individuals who have lost loved ones to murder, care for them, put resources into trying to assist in their healing, not to create more victims and more people to be traumatized by such losses. Missouri, in our state, the Show Me State, we need to show some compassion, show a better way of living to the people of the state. An example that we can be proud of, one that we can tell our kids indeed that we do tolerate no violence because we do not do violence to one another, so we must change our ways. The Fellowship of Reconciliation was founded back in 1961. Our group began doing vigils in Jefferson City against executions then. We continue to join with MADP, ACLU, and NAACP in supporting the end of the death penalty, especially in this case here. Torture should be avoided at all costs. In this case, it seems like it's a pretty clear certainty that Mr. Buckley would suffer a torturous death. We should be out of this business. Thank you.